Hi, all. This is Ruby Blow of Development Counts. I'm a licensed professional counselor here in the state of Georgia, and I decided to go live to share some thoughts about the state of the profession. I just saw a video that I did about a year ago today, that was talking about counselor judgment. And at that time, everyone was trying to make decisions about how to practice safely at the beginning of the pandemic. And now we're at a different place. And I just had a meeting today with a couple of colleagues and shared some thoughts and insights that I thought might be useful to others. So, how has the profession changed in this past year? What should counselors in particular be thinking about when it comes to practice and when it comes to how their practice might transform or change? I think the biggest and most obvious thing is that in the past year, people who used to think telemental health was not as viable as in-person therapy have learned that it can be very viable, and that a lot of people want to receive counseling services at a distance. So there's been a big question: do we go back into the office or do we not? As for me, I was working from home well before the pandemic. I plan to continue to do distance work, but that doesn't mean it's right for everyone. I think the main reason to consider going back into the office is if you don't have space at home to work. Then you can see people in person, or you can see people. I'm going to turn on the comments just in case. All right. I can't tell who's here, but if anyone has anything they want to share, I'm talking about how the counseling profession has changed in the past year. I usually don't interfere in my own videos and start fiddling around, but it's been a year since I've done one. So anyway, the question is, what should you be doing differently? What should you be planning differently in your work now? I think the only reason to go back into the office is if you don't have space to work at home and you definitely still want to see people in person, and if there is a demand for that. I don't think you should go into the office to be able to then rent space to other people, because I don't think the demand is there. There are a lot of people trying to sub-rent space, and I think there's just too much competition for that. So unless you have a group practice already established, where you've just got office space sitting and people are getting vaccinated and wanting to come back in person, to me, that's the only reason why you should consider it, because the model has shifted. A lot of people are seeking therapy, and many people have enjoyed the convenience of receiving therapy at a distance. So that's one thing that I think has changed in the profession that we should be thinking about. The other thing that I think we should be thinking about is how we can innovate our business models to fit what people are comfortable receiving now. I think people used to have a dream of going into private practice and having a great luxury couch and, beautiful, decor on the wall and nice fluffy pillows. And now there's not as much demand for that anymore, because people like the convenience of being able to go do therapy on their lunch hour, sitting in their car while they meet with their therapist over, whatever secure platform. So I think you need to think about, how can you continue along that innovation? What should you be putting your energy into that can provide more online services, whether it's psychoeducation online, whether it's different groups online. Hi, Kirby. You want to start thinking about how you can advance the profession as opposed to how you can take the profession backward. The other thing that I think counseling professionals need to think about, especially Black therapists, is that there's a high demand. Most of the therapists that I know that are established have wait lists. And so there are people who are wanting to enter the profession now, and there are people who are already in the profession who are overwhelmed, and they're trying to figure out if they should expand or how to set limits on their schedule. I think it's important to remember that if you did not have a goal of expanding to a group practice, you shouldn't just do it now because you're full. Refer out to other people. Your quality of life matters too. Work is important, but work isn't the only thing that's important. Your well-being is important. And I would say lastly, this is a good time to reinvest in your education, your continuing education, that is. Let me be clear. What certifications do you want to get? What specialty areas do you want to continue to learn more about? Yeah, I think it's good. If you have, hey, Jared, if you have a goal to expand your practice once you're more fully established, I think that this is a good time to pursue that. But the more that you, hey, Vilda, so the question is, I know the state allowed therapists to use Zoom and other non-secure sites during COVID times. Do you know when this will change, or has it already? I actually don't know the answer to that. It's more like what Vilda's asking about, people who were reimbursing, third-party payers who reimburse for therapy, and kind of federal guidelines related to making sure therapy is secure. They relax those guidelines to make it more accessible. I would say if you're practicing, you want to try to move to the most secure practice as possible, even if regulation isn't saying that you have to now. So that's a good question. I do think the longer we stay in telemental health, the more the onus is on us as therapists to kind of improve our strategies and how we're practicing. So where they might have been allowing FaceTime and Skype or whatever, now you do want to make sure you're moving to a platform that, when I say is more secure, meaning encrypted, and where potentially you can get a business associate agreement, which is part of HIPAA. Gosh, what was I saying before? I think I was just talking about, really not doing more during this time than what is actually already your professional goals. You don't want to wind up with a practice that just looks like what other people are doing. You want to be building and working from the perspective of who you are and actually what you want in your life, and not just looking at, oh, other people have done this, maybe I should do it too. And lastly, I wanted to share, I know some of you guys know I do share health updates, and you wonder how I'm doing. I'm still working. Yes, I'm living with cancer, but I still work to support myself. I still work to have meaning in my life. Just yesterday, 3 of my supervisees got licensed, so I'm really excited about that, got their LPC license. And then also this afternoon, just about once a week, I get asked, when are you going to offer consultation groups again? When are you going to offer supervision training again? So I came on camera to make a commitment to say, I am going to offer 2 new supervision trainings. They're going to be 3-hour live webinars, and it's going to be part of a clinical supervision masterclass series. One is going to be on the structure of supervision, and the other is going to be on supervision ethics. So it will not be the same content that you're getting at other people's training. This is going to be original content based on my experiences of providing supervision. And so I will, if you are not on my mailing list, please go to developmentcounts.com, get on my list so you can get those announcements. And I'm also going to start offering some consultation groups where people can do supervision of supervision and also get practice development. So if you're interested in that as well, get on my list. Some of you have been on my list and you're like, where is the blog? I'm going to start writing my blog again. I do have things to say. And I find myself, probably boring my sister with stuff about the field, although she is interested in what I do. So thanks, Adrian. So you guys, I am going to start writing my blog again. I used to write it weekly. I might start out with every other week just to give myself space. You might not know, but it usually would take me 3 hours between the writing and the editing. And sometimes I would do a video or another creative component, but I do have things to share. So I just wanted to give you a heads up. I have been, keeping myself more occupied with just focusing on my well-being. I'm still going to do that too, but there are things that I want to share, and many people have been asking me. So I'm going to get back at it. And the best way to know what I'm up to is really through my e-blast that will go out and share things. And I'll try to update my community events page as well. For those of you who did participate in the clinical supervision forum that I did with my colleague Ray at the Telehealth Certification Institute, we'll be doing another one, I think probably starting in August or September of this year. So look out for that. And yeah, I think that's it. So if any of you are seeking professional consultation for practice development. I do offer some of that one-on-one. You can email me if you're interested, ruby@developmentcounts.com. And yeah, I'm not taking therapy clients, so don't refer therapy cases to me, you guys. I'm just providing direct services to colleagues. So no therapy for me, probably for the foreseeable future. This is probably like going on my 24th year in practice, and I love doing therapy, but I am mostly practicing consultation, supervision, coaching, and just support for other clinicians. So that's it. I hope everyone is doing well. Some of you hopefully will get to see this on the playback. And yeah, follow me at developmentcounts.com. Join my email list so you can see when these different services are being offered. All right, take care, everyone. Bye.